This is the state capital of Mississippi, in Jackson. And we're trying to see if we can get a tour there since the legislation is in.
Okay, this is January 16th, 1990. We are now in Jackson, Mississippi, and we are viewing the Rotunda of the Capitol building, and we will be taking a self-tour throughout this beautiful building. Okay? I'll go over here and do.
This is the stairwell, over the top stairwell. It's 4 stories. See if I can get the light may knock me out here. I think I got part of this from down below. This is the stairwell. We started at the 4th floor. This is the 3rd. It's all granite.
I'm going down there.
Go ahead. That's Mary going down towards the House of Representatives. This is one of the halls. And there's 4 halls comes off of the Rotunda. This is in the House of Representatives, the Rotunda.
And trying to get one of these because they'll read this beautiful.
Where's that?
Right here on the side.
And the Senate is directly across 180 degrees from the House of Representatives. And we'll see if we can go in there. This is the Rotunda in the Senate. A little different setup on the floor. I try to get one of these columns all the way down. Windows, stained glass windows that are on the stairwell. Front of the Capitol building, and this is the eagle on top. And I'll come down. And the great Gothic pillars in the front. And this is the county courthouse. Right alongside of it. Nashville, Tennessee. We'll go see a show tomorrow night. Got in there too late today to do it. And I'll see if I can get some pictures on the inside. This is just... This is the courtyard. Out between the buildings. There's buildings, I guess 4 buildings, I'm not sure. This is in the lobby. And the stores.
We are inside the old Opry House Hotel, and we are in the lobby where there are many different stores. And this beautiful fountain is in view with all kinds of silk flowers around it.
This is the dining area. Courtyard between the buildings. There's building 1, 2, 3, and 4 around this area. There's a swimming pool, of course it isn't in use. Yeah, I really don't know what this is except just the lobby of the hotel. Staircase going to the outside. This is stairwell going down to the exhibit halls. Get a better view of this other wall. Front of the hotel. On the other side of this is a waterfalls. Waterfall on the side here. And I'll get from here. Probably won't see it from the front at all. The front of the building. Waterfall there. One there, and this is the way you go in. You can see this is Opryland Hotel. Quite enormous.
State legislature meets underneath this walkway. Also functioning antebellum capitol still in existence. Who do you think the architect was?
Strickland.
Right, William Strickland. That's the Tennessee State Supreme Court. The tall building to the right here is American General Insurance Company, and insurance is the number. As I go from the fact to the fiction, I got to call this one that while riding the trolley, he could hardly stop twitching, that he was all ears. I said, well, feel free to hop on the trolley anytime. He said it was a hair-raising experience. I said, when I get off at 7 o'clock, if you're not doing anything, stop out, fix the case, and what happens? The Baptist and Methodist publishing companies. Publications is the #2 industry in Nashville. It's the largest religious publication center in the world. The tall concrete building up there, that's the Baptist Sunday School Board. The brick building across the street from it is the Baptist Convention Building. Right behind it, where you see the construction and crane, is the Baptist Publishing House and Bookstore, where over 160 million pieces of religious literature are produced annually. Nashville is also known as the Athens of the South because of its 18 colleges, Bill's first public high school. One of its more notable alumni is Dinah Shore. Across the street on the corner to the right, that's the Customs House. Many years ago, goods were brought into Nashville from the river down the street, and that's where they were checked. Once again, on the corner right there, that's the Estes Keep off the Federal Building where the notorious mobster Jimmy Hoffa's trial was held. Also up the street to the right here, 2 blocks on the left, where you see the tall rock building with the steeple and the clock up there, that's Union Station, built at the turn of the century in 1900. Many years ago, about 60 passenger trains left out of there on a daily basis. It was recently reconstructed at a cost of $14 million into a luxury hotel and restaurant. Unfortunately, it was forced to close about a year ago due to financial difficulties. They have found another buyer for it. Built in 1900 at a cost of $7. Also, the brick building here to the left, that's the Ryman Auditorium, the original home of the Grand Ole Opry, now located at Briley Parkway at Opryland, USA. Built in 1891 as the Union Gospel Tabernacle from 1943 to 1974. It served as the mecca for the country music industry, and that's where the Grand Ole Opry shows were held. It's currently under $1 million restoration. It's open daily as a museum. Yes, it's the Dominion Bank Center. Also on the corner to the left, this is the Alamo of Nashville, where some of the stars shot. Also home of our saloon. It's an office building now, but many years ago it was just that, a saloon and a gambling house. The reason they called it the Silver Dollar Saloon is because the floor was actually lined with silver dollars.
Barge company here on the river belongs to, the principal owner is Steinbrenner, that owns the New York Yankees. They say that he made most of his money in steel, and as you can see, this barge laying up here, you can see the slides where they slide it into the river. We were just told they slid this one in yesterday. And these are a few of the boats. This is the Cumberland River, if I didn't say that before. Okay. Going up towards port here on the river. It's raining a little bit, but it's well set up. Try to get a little bit of the riverfront here. Okay. Okay.
Fort Nashville, the original stockades fronted on the river slightly north of here, covering an area of 2 acres. And then enclosed on May 13, 1780, representatives of this and other settlements met and adopted the Cumberland Compact for the government of the new settlement. About 500 yards west, April 2nd, 1781, settlers assisted by dogs drove off the Indians in the Battle of the Bluff.
This is the statue commemorating the founding of Nashville. It's James Robertson on the right, John Dollison on the left. And I'll swing around and see if I can get part of this court. Up here, it's closed this time of the year. There's a gate, steel gate. They'll try to get some more. Try to take some pictures through the steel gate that they've got on it. It's closed this time of the year. There is a monument of some kind. See if we get the back of it. This is right on the river. This is the Cumberland River. This is right on the river. As you can see, this is a waterway. There comes a tug with a barge. Presbyterian Church of Memphis. It's of Nashville. It's supposed to be historical somehow. Oh. Front lobby of the church. We're trying to find some lights in the auditorium. Okay.
This is the downtown Presbyterian Church in Nashville. This very unusual church, completed in 1851, is another Nashville landmark by William Strickland. The style in the Egyptian provincial, as noted by the lotus columns, entrance forms, and towers. The interior is colorful and striking. And as you can see, the church interior is absolutely beautiful. The lighting is in the ceiling. And all the pictures, okay, the pictures in the wall look like they're palm trees. And then when you go up to the altar, you can see the communion table, the baptismal urn, the organ is where the flowers are, and that is where the choir sits. And the pipes of the organ is noted as a final touch up there with lighting that makes it kind of shimmer and look very beautiful. And the ceiling has, where the lights are, has different ornamentations in it. And this is the upper part of the church, where if it is overloaded, I imagine they sit up here.
Okay. This is the dining area in the, I guess you call it our church basement. You can see the columns here. I'll try to get one close here. Top down. Baby's asking for light, but I think we'll make it. It's called a Fellowship Bible Class Room. It's downstairs. Okay. Let me get that rotunda out there.
I was going to flip it over to 2.
We'll flip it to 2. Do this and just hook your fingers in here, okay? Pull it out and turn it. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
What is today? The 19th.
I can get the prelude on there or something while I'm taking pictures.
Yeah, I'll just read this. This is the brief of Durian Blackburn met with 1 man and 6 women in the courthouse on November 14th, 1814, and organized the Presbyterian church that was to meet on this corner. The first building was erected on this site in 1816 and faced west on 5th Avenue with a single entrance on Church Street. It was built of brick and measured 45 by 80. By spring, work had begun on this building which faced Church Street. It was built of brick and measured 65 by 125 feet, had a bell tower and a basement.
Try to get another shot of this church from across the street. This is the Tennessee State Capitol in Nashville.
That's Jackson, Andrew Jackson there.
Oh, is it? No, okay. Okay.
Okay. Tennessee State Capitol designed by William Strickland, noted Philadelphia architect, who also designed the tower of the Independence Hall. Construction was commenced in 1845 and completed in 1859. Strickland died in 1854 and is entombed in the north portico. His son Francis supervised construction from 1854 to 1857. Slaves impounded, quarried, and transported limestone for the Capitol, which was used as a fortress during the Civil War. President and Mrs. James J. Polk are buried on the east lawn.
German immigrants. And this building also was designed by the same man who did the Presbyterian Church. He also did a lot of the early government buildings. And this center fresco is called Westward Extension. And the signal represents the problems of the ruling class, particularly signal represents the ruling class, the scale of justice. United States. And around it are 31 columns. And the reason for 31 is because those 31 states to its original appearance. This is how it looked, probably would have looked back in those times. And it's composed of 5 members. Those are the original chairs they used. And you notice on the state flag there's 3 stars, 3 white stars. Have you ever wondered what the 3 stars stand for? They're the 3 grand divisions of the state. There's East, West, and Middle Tennessee. And someplace in this area where we're not 100% where, and maybe in the future we'll try to look at the cast, but someplace in that northeast portico. And what I'd like to, by the way, do you have any questions? Maybe I only one, but 2 people actually included in the walls. And it just says he died when he was 64 years old. Now, that plaque overhead talks a little bit about his life, but he actually became an architect when he was 14 years old. He became an apprentice to Benjamin Henry Latrobe, and he helped serve as an assistant architect of the nation's capital and several fine Washington, D.C. buildings. And Mr. Strickland, like I say, he just has such a strong feeling towards this capital. Most of the counters, it's paper thin, and it's formed over wood or plaster. These frescoes have been restored recently, and the desks are made of gold, and the carpet will be more Victorian style carpet, and there'll be this chandelier that weighed reportedly between 5 pounds and even reported weighed 17 pounds. That's how heavy this thing was. It's no longer here because just how large the chandelier was. I thought you might find this interesting as far as some of the votes that are taking place. There's one that I think has a lot of significance to this date, though, that even eclipses that in my lifetime. That was in the 1920s. And what had happened is prior to the 1920s, women did not run the Senate.
I've got the blue book.
I'm just taking aside from the women's have a more intimate chamber that it seats the 33 members of the Senate, and the gallery goes all the way around. And if you look at the drapes, you can see the state seal has been woven into the fabric of the drapes. And that glass.
This thing's flashing battery. Tells you when the battery's getting weak.
You like the JVC pretty well?
Hmm?
You like the JVC brand pretty well?
Yeah, well, we've got 2 of them. We got an Hitachi, which is the full-size one.
Mm-hmm.
We've had that for a while, but whenever you go anywhere, it's so darn heavy to carry.
Yeah, and that is pretty
And this here one here,
library books, 2 upper levels of books. The only problem is, back in those days, modesty was really at a premium, and so as she walked up these stairs, even though she was wearing a 4-length skirt, each time she took a step, she was afraid the senators fabric and put it on the inside, and it was called the modesty drape. That's how they got around. That's why, if you were to see a photo of this from the 1800s, you'd see this little curtain inside. That was called the modesty curtain. That woman, her name is Mary Murphy, and she's interesting because she had to change her name to Charles Egbert Craddock before she found a success in the world of literature. There's that much bias against women. And the man right behind her's name is Cain. But that's That's pretty much our tour.
This is the tunnel going to the outside. Actually, it goes from the Capitol. It's going under the legislation building to the outside. Okay, we're going in here to see the upper room. This is the chapel and museum and library. These are depicting nativity scenes from all over the world. Different interpretations. Bethlehem. This is St. Peter. Okay.
Abraham about to sacrifice Isaac. And this one is Jacob asking for the hand of Rachel.
This is a silver copy, hammered out copy. German pyramid. And what is it?
The corn shock stable. Look at my cell. See, those candles turn the heat so that this all goes in.
These are porcelain.
Reflected out to the congregation, and the minister could be heard. At the front of the chapel, the chancel rail carries the shields of the apostles. The apostles are placed in the order that they are listed in the 10th chapter of Matthew. The artist chose not to place Judas among the apostles. He replaced his shield with that of Paul. Paul's can be found at the far right end of the rail. The center gate carries the shield for the Trinity, the hand of God, the Lamb, Jesus, the descending dove, the Holy Spirit. The four corners of the gate carry shields for the four gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Our carving again portrays the disciples gathered in an upper room during the time of the Passover. We know this work of art as the Last Supper. It was copied from Leonardo da Vinci's very famous painting, The Untitled The Last Supper. Our carving was done by an Italian sculptor, Ernest Pellegrini. 50 people worked for over 14 months to complete this work of art. When it was finished, it was shipped here and built into our wall. We opened in 1953. The carving is completely made from wood. The darker wood in the background and the frame is walnut.